Hey friends, welcome back to another video, or actually my first video in this channel. I am going to just take you through my life and reading journey. Reading is a big part of my life, and I'm just here to share that with you. Now, in this video, I'm just going to share all the books that I am hoping to read this June. I am not entirely the best at following my TBRs, but I find that making a TBR every month is just so re energizing. It helps me prepare for the month and it also helps me feel so encouraged to read because I always have something to look forward to. So, that being said, let's go ahead and talk about all the books I want to read this month. The first book I am going to be reading, I'm actually already reading it. I have already read um about 100 pages, and that is The Bridge Kingdom by Daniel L. Jensen. This book has had so much hype all over the internet for a very long time, and I actually bought it last year. I was afraid of the hype. I was afraid I wasn't going to love this book, and so I just kept putting it off. And this June, I am finally picking it up. I read a little bit during my 2 hour flight when I went to Mexico City a few weeks ago, but I did not have any time to read while I was there. And that 2 hour flight was just a pretty bad experience because we had like weather emergency landing. And so I don't know, I was just very distraught and I wasn't able to read as much as I wanted to. But what I can tell you so far about the book is that I'm not necessarily loving it or enjoying it. I am finding it to be a little bit boring, but I do see some potential for the rest of the story. So I'm just hoping that something interesting happens and then that's going to carry on with the entire story. So just really crossing my fingers that I end up enjoying this one because I also have another book by her in my TBR. So this is the one. Next, this is a big priority for me, so I think I am probably actually going to read this one this month. Like I'm actually going to stick to it. And that is The Hero of Ages by Brandon Sanderson. I've read the previous two books in this trilogy and I absolutely loved the first one. Obsessed. I didn't enjoy the second one as much, but I also did enjoy it because it was also just like the middle book in the story. So they usually don't tend to be that exciting, not compared to the first or the last book. So I'm really excited to read this one and finally finish this story. I I don't know, like I read these books so slowly. I have no clue why. His writing is not like too complex or overly complicated. It is just a lot of world building, and I really enjoy that. So I hope we get a little bit more of that in this book. And yeah, this is a big priority for me, and I think my prediction is that I'm going to love this book. Well, we are going to see at the end of the month whether or not I actually did like it or not. I also need to read the Stormlight Archive. I also need to read most of his secret projects. I've already read some. I already read Elantris, and my Brandon Sanderson journey has just been amazing. Amazing. And he has not let me down to this day. So we're gonna keep hoping that that is the case for the rest of the books that I have yet to read. Now, the next book that I also kind of started reading last month, but I didn't finish because I have no idea why. I just had really bad reading months starting from March, April, and May. I usually read about maybe like 10 to 11 books every month, 8 to 11. That's usually my average. And it's not about how many books a month you read or anything like that. It's just that's just how fast I read, and I have a lot of free time that I love spending reading. Like I love spending my free time just reading books. But there was just I don't know, just so many things and that were happening in my life during those months that things just got a little hectic and I wasn't able to enjoy reading that much. So hopefully with the creation of this channel, I feel more enticed and motivated to continue my reading journey and continue enjoying every single part of it. That book is Ruthless Vows. I started reading this book last month. I also acquired this like the moment it came out, but I didn't read it because I don't know. I just the first book was so good. I was so afraid that this book was going to let me down. So I took a few months in between, and I am finally ready to read it. From what I've read so far, which has only been about 50 pages, is that it's actually pretty good. I mean, I always enjoy Rebecca Ross. And on that note, I read um, A River Enchanted and A Fire Endless by Rebecca Ross. I also read Dreams Lie Beneath. I loved every single book that she writes. They're all just so full of lyrical writing and so much story, and I love her writing. And I also picked up Sisters of Sword and Song by the same author, Rebecca Ross. I was originally never really interested in reading this one, but realizing that I really love her writing, I just decided to give this one a chance. I just hope it's not like Dreams Lie Beneath, where I really enjoyed the setting, the atmosphere. Everything about that book was just so cozy. It was like the epitome of cozy. But the ending just felt super short for me. It almost felt like she just didn't know how to end it, and that a lot of things that should have mattered didn't matter in the end, and the main characters that should have been like bigger participants or have a bigger role in this ending didn't have. It was just weird. So I hope this is not like that, and I hope that this continues with her lyrical writing, and that it's really nice, and it gives me a good story, honestly, because I find myself reading through her books so fast because they are so entertaining and enjoyable. On the topic of cozy books, I am really afraid to read this one, to the point where I am honestly not entirely sure if I'm actually going to get to read this one. But that is Where the Dark Stands Still by A.B. Poranek. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Just look at this cover. Honestly, I bought this book because I saw it on Target. I saw the cover. I briefly saw something on Goodreads. I also remember some creator, I don't know who it was because this was a long time ago, say that this book was kind of like Studio Ghibli vibes or something like that. When people usually say those things, I usually end up disappointed, but the cover was just so stunning. I don't know much about this book. All I know is that it's about this girl who has to do something in a library and figure something out, and then we find this Fae guy. I'm just really intrigued because this artwork is simply amazing, and I chase anything that gets compared to Studio Ghibli. I love Studio Ghibli, even though I'm disappointed most of the times, but this is going to be a huge disappointment if I don't end up liking it, because the cover is so pretty. With books that I don't like, I typically give them away or I donate them. I also just sell them on Pango, or actually, I'm gonna start selling some on Pango. I have like a massive stack back here of books that I just didn't really enjoy. And if I don't enjoy this book, I'm gonna cry because it's so pretty and I want it on my bookshelf. The next book we're going to talk about is also a book I have been wanting to read for the longest time. And at first, I wasn't sure if I wanted to read it because I don't typically read YA, but I have recently been reading a lot more YA. We just have those moments, everybody. We're just like, no, we don't do that anymore. And then we go back to it because it gives us comfort and because these books are honestly great as well. So that book is A Number in the Ashes. It's almost a classic in YA. I feel like almost every person read this book because they had like a mass popularity boost back in the days when it came out, which I have no clue when that was, but I know it was a really long time ago, like back when I was a teenager. And I wish I had known about it because maybe I would have been super obsessed with this book. But it's never too late because I'm ready to get obsessed. I'm ready to read this book. I'm ready to People say it's really sad and like heartbreaking and just really hard to read sometimes because there's things that happen that are just really messed up with the main characters. So I'm all here for it. I want the damage, I want the pain, I want the trauma, and I want this book to deliver and give me all of the things that I want. So hopefully. It's also kind of thick, but YA usually has less words in them, so I think this is going to be a pretty quick read. I'm just really hoping also that there's going to be really good world building, because that's all I want in this life. Now, lastly, and to conclude this TBR, I love balancing my reading. So if I read something sad, I want something happy, and then if I read something happy, now I want some emotional damage. This is like a pretty good balance stack for my brain. But I want to end the note by saying that I want to read, or by showing you that I want to read why Ray Liana ended up in the Duke's mansion. First of all, I love anime. I love romance anime. I think it's called, I don't remember. I mean, I know, but my brain is just not working right now, so we're not even going to try to go there. But I saw the anime adaptation. I don't know why I was so obsessed with it. I really enjoyed it. So naturally, I'm going to buy the book, and then I know there's like a specific term for it as well, but you're just gonna have to forgive me because my brain is not working very well right now. Anyways, I'm super excited to read this one. It sucks to wait for animes to be finished, so I'm just gonna read the entire all the volumes. Now we're coming to the end of the video now, and it was really fun talking to you guys about all the books that I'm gonna probably not gonna stick to, and probably gonna end up picking other things, or maybe I'm not gonna have enough time to read them, but maybe I am. And I am a hopeful person. I'm an optimistic person, and I want to tell myself that I am going to read all of these books this month. I will be showing you some blogs throughout the month, just showing you my journey with these books, especially with Brandon Sanderson and with Ember in the Ashes, because those are the most popular books that I'm pretty sure almost everybody knows about. And I'll also let you know if whether the Dark Standstill ended up being a disappointment or a success for me. And until next time, bye bye. That was so weird. I never know how to end the video, you guys. I'm so sorry. But I will learn. I will get there. And let's just say goodbye.